The story of you/how is a weird one. He posted to r/relationship advice looking for some help after moving into a brand new house just to have his fiance forbid him from going upstairs. We're gonna take a look at the original post, the replies from the community, and the responses from OP to see if we can piece together some sort of story of what happened to you/how. Just for clarification, you/how did also post his story on r/relationships, only to have it deleted for some reason, but we will be looking at replies from both threads. My fiance won't let me upstairs in our semi-newly purchased home, and I'm starting to get really suspicious. We've had this house now for 8 weeks, and I haven't stepped foot upstairs once since we signed the papers. It's all very, very confusing. So, some backstory. Me and we'll call her Kelsey have been together for 4 years now. Met my freshman year of college, her sophomore. We have an extremely close and open relationship, and I tell her everything about my life and what's on my mind. Usually, I feel the same way from her, but for a lack of better explanation, there are like trigger topics that Kelsey has always had that just shut her up to any conversation or openness and just make her act completely weird and disjointed. Sometimes even defensive or aggressive. This is usually not a problem because it's typically stuff that doesn't even matter that much, but going upstairs in our home has become one of these topics, and I have no idea why or what's going on up there. I'm starting to smell a smell coming from upstairs too, but I'm not sure if I'm just imagining it because it's barely noticeable. When we got the place on day one, she cutely declared, "The upstairs is mine," and we laughed about it. I tried to go up there, and she kept getting in my way, jokingly reminding me that she already claimed it. Eventually, I was done with her piss-taking, so I said, "Alright, the upstairs is yours," and quit for the day. A day or two later, I asked her what we were going to do with the rooms upstairs whose windows face mostly roof, and she said it's none of my business. So, obviously, I pushed a little further, and she said, "We're done with this conversation." She went upstairs, and by that point I was like uncomfortable following her up there, not having any idea what was going on. It's been nearly 2 months now, and I still haven't been back up there since we first visited the place. She takes big Amazon packages up there and never brings anything down. With quarantine, she's been spending sometimes half the day up there or more, and honestly, I have no idea what happens in any of those rooms. My plan was to sneak into them after quarantine is over, but I'm like 95% sure she has cameras up there because she accidentally bought them on our shared Amazon and not her individual Amazon, which I'm assuming she has because whatever those big packages are she's ordering aren't on our joint one. I could tell she didn't mean to use our joint account because when I asked why she bought them, she seemed to be in shock and got all rigid, telling me they were for her mother. I feel like there should be openness in a marriage, and this whole thing is really freaking me out. The few times Kelsey has been calm about the topic, she's told me that I'm overreacting, and that she's trying to do me a favor, because whatever's up there would be really upsetting to me anyway. But I keep telling her I don't mind, because I'd rather know what it is and be upset, because I'm already upset with the current situation, which is hardly addressed anymore. I feel like if I don't take this problem head on now, the upstairs will just be hers forever and I'll always be left to wonder, which I am not okay with. Guys, any advice at all would be really honestly appreciated because I'm at a complete loss now with how to navigate the situation. Thank you all. Edit. 2 things have been mentioned to me. 1, I've been rude in my responses and non-appreciative of the help I'm receiving. For this, I genuinely am sorry. I'm just hurt and tired right now. None of you deserve attitude for trying to help me. I'll work on it. 2, I should mention that the answer I'm looking for is not march upstairs, who cares what she does. I don't want to start my marriage that way regardless of anyone's opinions. That can't be the right way to build trust. Edit 3. Guys, I'm gonna take a break from this post. I guess I'm just emotional and it's a little too much for me in the current moment. For those offering honest help, thanks so much. I'll be back tonight to read the rest of the messages. Thanks. Now, obviously, the base situation here is concerning. This dude's not allowed upstairs in his own fucking house. But what almost concerns me more is how, like, passive his attitude is about this. Because, yeah, he thinks it's weird, but he's also saying stuff like, I don't want to get our marriage started off on the wrong foot, which is just like, hey, buddy, that ship has already fucking sailed. And I don't say that to, like, make fun of this guy. I think he is more prone to be a victim in a situation like this if something dangerous is going on. Like, I'm not trying to imply that she's, like, murdering people upstairs or something like that, but this definitely sets off red flags, and his acceptance of it, which we'll see more of in his replies, is definitely not a good sign. I will be going through these replies in chronological order. The first response is from Fascination Street saying, just go up there and look. Why have you accepted this for so long? I'd rethink the whole marriage thing as well. Update us with what's going on up there. Yuhao responds, because I'm not trying to start off my marriage by breaking her trust. I understand her request is unreasonable, but I don't see how walking up there would help when she would clearly be upset by it. When it's all said and done, I'm more concerned with our marriage than the upstairs. It's just the two of us in the house anyway. It's not like I need to go up there, it's just the curiosity that's killing me. Fascination Street says, oh my god, dude, break her trust? You seriously need to get a cup of coffee and wake up here. And Yuhao just responds, thanks, helpful. Hearthguy999 replies to the original post saying, fuck man, what? I'd never let my wife bar me from a room in my own house. Are you kidding me with this? That's totally her murder room, and I have no idea why you haven't pulled on your big boy pants yet. I can't believe you bought a house with someone who is extremely close and open, except when she's absolutely the opposite. Yuhao chimes in saying, 1, we are close and open with each other about almost all topics, though. I can trust her in most things in life, and that's what's most important to me. And 2, it wasn't until we bought the house that I wasn't allowed upstairs, obviously. I don't even think your comment was meant to be helpful, but like I said to another person, the reason I do not want to go up there is because I don't want to start off our marriage by breaking her trust. That's not a promising way to begin a lifetime together. Reddit user Pyritha responds, do you seriously think it's a good idea to bind yourself into a lifetime together with someone who won't let you access an entire floor in your house? Would you do that to yourself? What if you have kids? How would you raise them if an entire floor is off limits to you for reasons you do not know? You need to find out what the hell is going on before you make a huge mistake. And I include Pyritha's comment because up until this point, I've been thinking of this situation in isolation, just the two people in this house. The second you bring another person from this couple's lives into the situation, it becomes completely impossible to explain. Like, how do you start to tell someone in your life that your girlfriend won't let you upstairs in your own home? DMCDD says this has got to be a shitpost or an intro to a story coming up in r/nosleep. How responds, think what you want, I'm just looking for a little help, man, it's exhausting. And I am going to be including all of the comments that How responded to and what he said, because I want you guys to have the best chance to put together what's going on here. Akusuru0813 says, don't want to pry too hard, but what are the trigger topics? Our boy Yuhao comes through with, she rarely talks about stuff from her mid-teenage years. I know she was pretty troubled at the time, and she and her mom didn't really get along, and I know that once she was 18, she didn't allow anyone in her room at all because she specifically told me, no one's been in my room for years when we were dating. I eventually saw that room and it looked totally normal, like an average 20-year-old's room, but I've never actually been in it myself either. What the fuck is going on, dude? Holy shit. There's a ton of things that she won't fully address, so honestly, it's hard to come up with the ones that I think are significant, but she doesn't really talk about her dad, who's never been in the picture. Sometimes she'll refuse to talk about money if we're discussing it in the long term, things like future savings or 401ks, etc., and then just a bunch of small things, like pets even. She'll get really upset if I bring up someone's pet or, God forbid, express my interest in having a pet, even if it was a small one. Which sucks because I used to have an awesome fish tank when I was a kid, but my parents split like hers, and I had to get rid of it. And I'd always looked forward to redoing it once I was at my own place. Not a big deal, but still. It's mostly small examples, though, other than the couple I listed. Akusuru replies, what did you see in her to get in and eventually marry her? Cause it sounds like she avoids many topics. Yu Hao responds, she's a full person, not only her flaws. I have flaws too, and things I don't love talking about, though I won't actively avoid them. I don't think it's fair to judge someone's person by one oddity in their character. Akusuru claps back saying, sorry, but it's only one-sided right now. We're only hearing your end, that's why I'm asking, not trying to sound rude. And Yu Hao replies, it's okay, I know the situation is insane, man, and I'm honestly just stressed out. I'm sorry if I came off as rude as well, I appreciate your thoughts and help. Just jumping in real quick, I feel like this whole she's a full person, not only her flaws thing is like a reasonable argument in some circumstances, but it's also like the perfect defense to just ignore all of someone's problems, no matter how much they might be, you know, fucking up your life. Pimping Positivity jumps in, you both bought this house, how can she claim half of it? Maybe she's cooking meth. Hao says, she's not cooking meth. Pimping Positivity says, so what do you think she's really doing then? Yu Hao responds, obviously I don't know, come on. Not that you're posting here in any sort of good faith, but that's what I'm trying to figure out, what she's doing without overstepping bounds or hurting our marriage. That's why I posted here, not to have people suggest my wife is making fucking meth, which I grew up around. I would be able to tell if that was the case. I really think that this statement from Yu/Hao represents how deep he now is in the weeds of this situation, because he's not even logically making sense. Like, he wants to figure out what's going on without overstepping boundaries, but the boundary that his girlfriend specifically set up was keeping him out of the loop. Like, it's not just that you can't go upstairs, it's that you're not allowed to know what goes on there. Like, that is tied in to the agreement that she has made with you, so you're not gonna find out without overstepping some sort of boundary. Reddit user Oweda is concerned about the smell, and Yu Hao responds, sorry, so that line got cut off, which your comment helped me notice. The full sentence is that the smell is barely noticeable. It smells like old linens or a pile of clothes. Not in a gross, dirty way, but just like, if you've ever been somewhere with just like a ton of clean clothes lying around, there's a certain heavy smell about it, but it's not necessarily bad, it just smells like cloth. And genuinely, it's hardly there. Oweda says, bro, that's weird. Would you think there's a crazy lock on the door also? That's fucking weird. Like, wow. Anyways, I hope everything works out. You should find out. Make sure it's nothing crazy. Anyway, you can get on her Amazon account and find her order history. Yu Hao says, dog, honestly, she's never mentioned anything about the other Amazon to me. And that's maybe the most upset I am about anything. That's the part that has me the most confused, because it's extremely obvious she either has another account or is using someone else's. There are no locks to my knowledge, and she seems to move freely between 4 rooms. Up there! I appreciate your words and help, thank you. Holy shit! That's the first time that we're getting the information that there are 4 rooms upstairs in this house that he is not allowed into. The Advice Rabbit chimes in saying, if this is a true story, then maybe your partner's a cam girl. She may do a lot of washing because of the outfits, and it would be upsetting for you to find out that information. Maybe that's why she doesn't want you up there, because that's her setup. Would explain the cameras as well. Hao says, I could see this being the case. This is an honest possibility, and I'll look into it further. Thank you for this. Shifting over to the replies on the Relationship Advice subreddit, Deleted says, why are you tolerating this? It's your house. Go upstairs. Edit to add, don't sneak, just walk upstairs. I don't know why you're enabling this absurd behavior. Edit to, fucking trolls, man. Hao chimes back in saying, for Christ's sake, I just posted at r/relationships, and everyone there wasn't helpful. I guess I was dumb to figure this sub would be any different. Here's a copy and paste as to why I didn't go upstairs forcefully. He's not trying to start off the marriage by breaking her trust. Yeah. Ebby45, who has verified crisis counselor as their flair, says, I'm not sure why you're getting upset at commenters for offering what seems like a very simple and concrete solution to your problem. I noticed many of your responses in the other sub were quite agitated. People are trying to help you. If you don't want to be told to go upstairs, I would suggest you write that in bold and even all caps at the end of your post. I understand you're stressed, as you should be, but you don't need to take it out on others. Hao says, okay, you're right, and I'm sorry if I've come off as aggressive. I'm really just exhausted and hurt right now, and I don't mean to be mean. I just don't want to force my way upstairs because I think that will be far worse for our marriage than anything else right now. But you're correct, I should mention that in the post. Thank you. Ibby says, no need to apologize, can't say I've ever seen a post about this topic, and it does sound quite tense. Sorry you're going through this, I understand your concerns. Howe says, thank you very much, really. Succubus replies, what do you want to happen in regards to the upstairs? What is your plan in the marriage if she never tells you? Howe says, I'm hoping that it won't come to that and we'll find some agreement at some point. This is interesting because here Howe is responding to being called a troll. He says, you guys can believe what you want, man. I literally posted my initial response to you that I'd posted this elsewhere, so how would I be trying to hide that? Please don't denigrate my problems because you think you're some online detective. People in the world face differing, sometimes pretty fucking odd issues. And you can not believe it, that's fine, but why with the fucking trolls, man? I'm really just looking for some help, I don't know what to do in this situation, and no one's ever really taught me about relationships or how to navigate them. I always feel like I'm just winging it, and it can be really hard sometimes. Now, before we get into u/Howe's Reddit profile, I do just want to establish something real quick. I mostly read everything in chronological order because he was first replying to everything on r/relationships, then replying to the replies on r/relationship advice, but at the end of all of this, he went back to r/relationships and replied to the question of his partner possibly being a cam girl, him saying he could see this being the case, and that is the last reply he has on all of his Reddit. The first noteworthy thing about u/Howe's Reddit profile is that the account was created on March 18th, 2020, made its first post on March 24th of 2020, and then this whole relationships situation goes down on April 10th of 2020, and then nothing more after that point. So this entire account's history is 23 days long, and there are some reasonable explanations for this, like he could have created this Reddit account with the exclusive intention of asking this question, but needed to like earn some karma first to be allowed to post on r/relationships and r/relationship advice, but this could also just as easily explain him trying to get karma to troll r/relationships and r/relationship advice. Now, I am going to link u/Howe's Reddit profile in the description if you're interested in investigating for yourself, but I didn't find any of the other posts to be super interesting except for this one, and even this one is a massive reach, but just bear with me, I'm gonna theorize here. So, somebody posted on r/NBA asking, what would your 12-man squad of your favorite players from your lifetime be? And u/Howe replied, Steph, Rondo, Kobe, Clay, AI, Carmelo, Iguodala, Dre, Giannis, KG, Shaq, and Dwight. Now, if we are to trust the relationship advice post where he claims to be 23 in 2020, that would mean that he was either born in 1997 or 1996, meaning that in his lifetime, Michael Jordan played, and why would you not include this on your list? Like, I understand that his favorite players, but still, like, how would you not include MJ on here? So maybe, I don't know, this is fake. That's proof that it's fake. Undisputable. Now that we have all the information that was easily findable on Reddit, I will list my theories in order of how likely I think they are to have happened. So number one theory here is that he's just some guy trying to have fun at the expense of Reddit, get people to investigate, get them intrigued, maybe get a couple YouTubers to make a video about it. And although I think this is the most likely, my biggest counter-argument to that is, why not milk it further then? Like, we all know the age-old tale of OP never delivering, but this guy had so many more steps, twists, turns that he could have gone through before he ever had to provide any evidence. Like, I wish that this went deeper, but it just doesn't. He just gets upset and leaves. The second most likely theory, in my opinion, is that this actually happened and the girlfriend was trying to do some sort of cam girl business or some other business that would have offended the boyfriend and wanted to keep it a secret from him. The strongest evidence for this being that the last thing he replied to was the question of, is she a cam girl, and then him being intrigued and accepting that as a possibility and then never responding to anything else on the thread. Third most likely explanation is that the girlfriend just on a base level has some extreme privacy, secrecy, control issue, and she is literally just protecting those rooms upstairs for no reason at all other than wanting to control that space and not have anyone else in it. Just based on that history of having like the bedroom that nobody was allowed to go into, and he had seen pictures of it and it was normal, but he never actually went in there. Like, that whole history, that does lead me more to believing that it's like a Reddit mystery ARG type thing, but he just doesn't go deep enough with that. I wish he had gone deeper if this was a fake thing. Why not give us more to sink our teeth into? And the fourth most likely option pretty much just encompasses anything more sinister happening upstairs in the house, like, you know, some occult activity or like some deep web red room shit going on, which I just think is highly unlikely personally. Please, just because I want more discussion about this and I want the lore to go deeper, let me know your own personal theories or which theory of mine you agree with the most, because I don't know, I'm obsessed with this topic and I want the rabbit hole to go deeper, but I just don't think it does. You can check out Reddit's safe space for stalkers on the top, incel pickup lines on the bottom, channel members to the left and the right. I hope everybody's doing super well, skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a sufficient amount of water, and I'll see you super soon. Peace out, Cub Scouts.